So for the past 3 months, I have been on this social media fast. I deleted every app I had, I made 0 content, and just had no interaction whatsoever with social media. And let me tell you, it was wild. I mean, I can't even remember what life was like before social media. And so, man, I was affected really deeply by it, actually more than I thought I would. And I really was affected in 3 particular areas. First area that was really affected was a purification of my prayer life. So obviously with social media, I had a lot more time to pray, but the effect wasn't a lot more time. The effect was I was able to really focus on the Lord. So I would find that, I mean, when you're making content and you're looking at posts, you're looking at comments and you're trying to respond in DMs and all these things, man, it affects your mind, it affects your heart. And you can bring those, and I would bring those things into my life of prayer with Jesus. Sometimes prayer would just be about, well, what are we gonna make? And how should we do this? And it wasn't about seeking the Lord's heart, seeking his will and what he desired. And just this pure intention of, Lord, I just wanna worship you. Man, Lord, I want less of me and more of you. And so with this social media fast, all that other stuff just didn't have an ability to come in. And it really became about the Lord. Like, Lord, I'm coming to be with you and nothing else. And it just renewed my heart. It renewed my relationship with Jesus. It renewed so much of even my priestly desire to give my life to the Lord and serve my people. And so, yeah, a purification of my prayer life in intention, in mind and body, completely focused and fixed as Jesus is number one. And then everything else fell into place. The second area where I was deeply affected was I experienced a decrease in anxiety and being overwhelmed in my days. So I think it's so beautiful and amazing how connected we are and just how much information we have access to and knowing what's going on. I mean, across states and continents and in our world, it's actually really beautiful and amazing. But at the same time, I don't think we were created with the emotional capacity to process and deal with all the stuff that's going on in the world on a daily basis. I mean, I just don't have that capacity. And I experience so much with social media that, man, I would have more anxiety because I'm worrying and thinking about all these things that are going on that I just don't even have control of. Like, I don't know what to do with all the different tragedies that are going on in the midst of the world when I can barely even deal with the tragedy that might be right here in front of me. And so without that social media and having that fast from it, I experienced being like less connected to what was going on and more connected to the Lord and what was actually right in front of me. I mean, I think you can like relate in the fact that sometimes we can barely deal with what's in front of us. And so to begin to add all these other things that are going on, like, man, so difficult. And so, yeah, wow, it was so beautiful to have like less anxiety and not be as overwhelmed. I mean, there still was anxiety and I got overwhelmed every once in a while, but it was way more manageable with the Lord because I really felt I was able to manage things in the emotional capacity that I have. Like I could mentally process all that was going on because it was within my capacity with the Lord. If that makes sense, you know, it's kind of wild. So yeah, it was awesome. And this third area was an increase of joy and gratitude in my daily life. So I definitely can fall into the social media trap and just trap in general with comparison to others and even comparison to ministries. Of like, what are people posting and what are they doing and how are they speaking, whatever it might be, and looking at followers and growth and lack of growth. And man, comparison can just steal joy and increase just a sadness, right? Because it's like looking at what you don't have, or you could do things better. And man, in all these areas you're comparing and it's like, I don't measure up, you know, and man, I could be doing so much more. I should be doing more. And it just really brought kind of a real cloud at times of just like a real sadness and even discouragement. And so as I began this fast and kind of like pulling away from it, I began to like take a step back and look at things as they truly were. Of like, wow, Lord, this is crazy what you've done or what we've been able to do and grow on social media and the content that we've done and just kind of taking a step back and being like, Lord, wow, like this is so cool. And it was beautiful. Like it really was, you know, of looking at what the Lord has done instead of looking at what hasn't been done. I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful. I mean, the Lord was like, I want you to take this time away from social media completely, take it away from digital evangelization and content creation. And I want you to push more into me. And I am so grateful I followed the Lord. And there were definitely other areas that God impacted, but these were like the three main ones. And I just needed to share them with you. Now, I'm definitely not advocating for a complete like ban and just get off social media and there's nothing good about it. No, I mean, I'm kind of really converted, so to speak, by the Lord on an amazing just tool for evangelization, a great, beautiful gift of connecting and being aware and experiencing just the goodness of God in and through the platforms. And so I'm not advocating for that at all, but I do think there does need to be a greater purification in the way in which we utilize social media, you know, and being able to really step away and make sure that social media is like not God for us. It's not the place where we find the deepest affirmations of who we are. It's not where we find our purpose. It's not where we find like happiness and joy and meaning in our life because, well, it just can't, right? That platform was never created for that. I mean, that's only what God can do within our hearts. And so sometimes, even for myself, I realized like, man, social media took a place in areas in my heart that was for the Lord only. And being able to kind of take this step back and reordering the Lord being number one, man, it was such a gift. And after this experience that I had, I was just really thinking of, wow, Lord, I should maybe implement this on a yearly basis. Like, you know, maybe 1 month out of the year or more, or multiple weeks throughout the year, kind of spread out where I'm taking a step back, where I'm fasting from social media for the sake of making sure that the Lord is number one, that He is my God and He's where I find my purpose and affirmation versus any other areas of platforms that can, well, just kind of get in and take the place of the Lord. And so I just kind of want to encourage you, you know, I mean, maybe take a week, like, go for it. Like take a week, don't even look at it and push more into the Lord and even just see what happens to you. Like what are the effects? I mean, whether it's increased joy and gratitude, or you have more time to maybe do those things that give you greater life, or it's that real purification of your relationship with the Lord. I really encourage you, take a week and see what happens. And if there's greater benefit, well, maybe begin to do more. But I do think, guys, as good as social media can be, I think we need to be purified of it for sure and take a step back and make sure that where we find our ultimate fulfillment is going to be in the Lord Jesus versus any other social media, person, and platform in our lives. Guys, I'm so grateful that I could just kind of share this experience with you, and it's been awesome, and I look forward to making way more content and keep going for it. But yeah, guys, if you've enjoyed this video, if you've liked this content, make sure you leave a comment, subscribe to this channel, and guys, I cannot wait to see you again. God bless you.